Tensions are running high as North Korean defector groups plan to launch leaflets into the north ahead of the 5th anniversary of the sinking of the Cheonan naval corvette. Elder statesmen representing South Korea and Japan met in Tokyo to discuss ways to improve Seoul-Tokyo relations, which are at their worst in years. And the ruling and opposition parties have finalized their lists of candidates for the upcoming April 29th by-elections. Election campaigns begin in full gear this week. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Monday, March 23rd. I'm Luke Claring. Tensions between South and North Korea have escalated as North Korea and defectors plan to launch political leaflets into the north ahead of the 5th anniversary of the Cheonan corvette tragedy, which will be observed on March 26th. The North Korean military even threatened to attack the South indiscriminately, prompting the South Korean military to warn of a strong response in return.
The North Korean military strongly criticized the North Korean defectors' plan to send leaflets to the north. North Korea threatened that it would deploy all its weapons to attack the South indiscriminately.
살포 수단이 풍선이든 무인기이든 그 살포 방법이 공개적이든 비공개적이든 아군 화력 타격 수단들의 관역에서 절대로 벗어나지.
The North warned of a second and even third attack if the South responds and advised that residents near the military demarcation line evacuate to safe zones. Despite the North's threats, North Korean defectors in the South are determined to send leaflets criticizing the North Korean regime to mark the 5th anniversary of the Cheonan corvette tragedy.
바람만 불면은 아무 때든 언제든지 보내려는 거죠. 온갖 협박 친다 해서 멈추면 안 됩니다.
The South Korean military has warned of a strong response against any provocation from the North. Meanwhile, the South Korean government said that sending leaflets is an act of freedom of expression, but if such actions jeopardize the safety of residents, the government would have to take appropriate measures.
Elder statesmen representing South Korea and Japan met in Tokyo Sunday evening to discuss ways to improve Seoul-Tokyo relations. There are hopes that a series of civilian-level contact could lead to a summit between the heads of the two countries.
11 elderly leaders representing South Korea and Japan, including former Prime Minister Lee Hong-gu, convened for a meeting. The gathering was motivated by a shared sense of urgency that the relations between South Korea and Japan are at their worst, although the two countries mark the 50th anniversary of the normalization of their diplomatic ties this year.
미래에 어떻게 나가면 좋을까 하는 공동의 희망과 꿈을 얘기할 수 있는 기회가 되어서
The veteran South Korean and Japanese leaders agreed that the trilateral foreign ministerial meeting among South Korea, China, and Japan, which was held for the first time in 3 years, should serve as a starting point for better relations between Seoul and Tokyo. In particular, former Japanese Prime Minister Yasuo Fukuda and other key figures will call more strongly on the heads of the two neighboring countries to hold a summit. The leaders will meet with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe Monday afternoon to discuss the statement Abe will issue to mark the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. They will also ask the Japanese Prime Minister to resolve historical issues, such as Japan's wartime sex slavery during its colonial rule of the Korean Peninsula.
The ruling and opposition parties have finalized their list of candidates for the upcoming April 29th by-elections. Election campaigns begin in full gear this week.
The ruling and opposition parties have finalized their list of candidates to represent them in 4 districts in the April 29th by-elections. They will launch their election campaigns this week. Saenuri Party Chairman Kim Moo-sung, who held a meeting of senior party officials in a contested district in Seongnam, Gyeonggi Province, has plans to visit the boarding house area in Gwanak District, Seoul on Monday to announce his campaign pledge to resolve the housing issue for young people. He also requested the opposition party's cooperation in reviving the economy.
타당하지 않은 이유로 새누리당의 30개의 경제 활성화 법안은 지연되어 처리되어 왔고 아직 9건은 처리되지 못한 채 있습니다.
Meanwhile, New Politics Alliance for Democracy chairman Moon Jae-in has plans on Monday to meet with economic experts to criticize the Park Geun-hye administration for causing the economic recession and to underscore his party's capabilities in bringing the economy back on track.
이번 재보선은 국민의 지갑을 지키는 선거입니다. 국민의 지갑을 훔치는 세력과 국민의 지갑을 지키는 세력 간의 대격돌입니다.
On Wednesday, the opposition leader will hold a meeting of senior party officials in Incheon to bolster the party's commitment to win the by-elections.
South Korean food companies are eyeing a business opportunity as South Korea and the United Arab Emirates sign a memorandum of understanding on food exports. But food makers here must overcome many cultural obstacles to increase their exports to Islamic countries.
This is a cafeteria at a university in Cheonan. The dish served looks like ordinary curry, but it contains no ingredients that are banned under Islamic law, such as pork or alcohol. It is, in short, halal food. Food companies must obtain halal food certification in order to export their products to Islamic countries. The South Korean government signed an agreement with the United Arab Emirates to export South Korean food products, with plans to increase food exports to Islamic countries from $680 million last year to $1.23 billion by 2017. The largest stumbling block is halal certification. Each Islamic country has different certification standards, and it takes 6 months to a year to obtain the certification. To support domestic food companies aiming to export to Islamic countries, the government launched a task force and signed an MOU with the Korea Muslim Federation, the sole halal certification agency in South Korea. The government will also create a halal food complex in Iksan.
Yeongdeunpo district in Seoul is notorious for severe traffic congestion. To tackle the problem, authorities will actually narrow the motorways and expand pedestrian walkways. The so-called road diet has been an effective strategy in other countries, but it remains to be seen if it will work here.
This 6-lane street in front of Yeongdeunpo Station in Seoul is always jammed. To add to the problem, 42 bus routes pass through the area. Since a large department store and a shopping mall were built in the area, the road has become one of the most congested in Seoul.
토요일 같은 때는 저 타임스퀘어 그쪽에 신세계 빠지는 차 때문에 불과 500m나 된 데서 30분씩 기다리는데.
To address the problem, the Yeongdeunpo district office decided to try the so-called road diet policy. Under the plan, one of 3 lanes in the direction of Yeongdeunpo Market will be removed in order to expand the sidewalk. A similar policy was implemented 4 years ago in the UK, and it turned out to be successful in eliminating traffic jams and improving pedestrian conditions at the same time.
그동안은 차량 소통이 잘 되지 않으면은 차도를 넓혀야 된다고 생각을 했는데 오히려 차도를 좁힘으로써 교통을 억제를 시키고.
The road diet has emerged as an innovative solution for minimizing traffic congestion.
Recent musicals feature versatile actors who not only act and sing, but also show off their advanced skills playing musical instruments. Some musicals even look like concerts with popular singers starring. Let's take a look.
Guitars and drums create music that stimulates the senses, and the excitement spreads to the audience.
같이 박수치고 뛰기도 하고 노래 신나는 부분 나올 때마다 같이 뛰어나가고 싶고.
The actors perform all of the songs featured in the musical themselves. Lead actors introduce other members of the cast, who show off their seasoned skills on their respective instruments. Viewers stand up to respond by waving their luminous glow sticks. An atmosphere previously associated with concerts can now be easily found at musical performances. Musicals featuring actors who play their own instruments began popping up in Korea 7 to 8 years ago, and they have been growing in popularity ever since. Recently, popular singers have begun to appear in musicals as well.
반 이상인 것 같아요. 지금도 역시 합주를 하고 공연을 시작을 합니다. 30분 전에는.
Although the trend first arose from efforts to save production costs, the harmonious combination of acting, music, and instruments is being lauded as a method befitting musical theater.
As more and more individual foreign tourists visit Korea, the number of visitors staying at guest houses is increasing as well. This type of lodging is growing quite popular as the rooms are more affordable and the accommodations offer uniquely Korean experiences.
Scott, a tourist from America, plans to stay in Korea for about 2 weeks. He made lots of new friends during his stay at a private guest house in a quiet residential neighborhood.
I think as a traveler, it's something you really look for. You know, you want to find like-minded people who share sort of a spirit of adventure, and I definitely find that here at the Oasis Guest House.
The homeowner, who's fluent in English, provides his guests with opportunities to experience Korean culture and has even went to concerts with them in the past.
근데 게스트하우스는 호스트가 누구냐에 따라서 굉장히 틀린 게스트하우스가 돼요.
Traditional Korean-style guest houses, with their typical tranquil atmosphere, are also popular.
我们可以感受一下韩国传统的文化，然后就是有十分温暖的家一样，然后经理人非常好他们的早餐真的很好吃。
Urban guest houses registered with the city of Seoul numbered roughly 670 last year, tripling over the past 3 years. The city of Seoul plans to promote the guest houses by holding 2 rounds of briefings on the private accommodations this year.
6-member boy band Shinhwa is proving its staying power by topping major music show rankings for 2 weeks in a row. 17 years have passed since the group's debut, but the longest-running idol group is still enjoying unwavering popularity. We have this and more in today's Showbiz News.
Idol group Shinhwa's latest song, Sniper, ranked #1 in major music shows, including KBS's Music Bank, for 2 weeks in a row. Sniper, a dance piece featuring a fast beat and the members' powerful and dazzling dance moves, has remained hot ever since its release. Over the weekend, Shinhwa also held concerts celebrating the 17th anniversary of the group's debut. Boy band U-Kiss's 4th album, Action, released in Japan, has climbed to the top of the Oricon music chart. The group's management agency said that the album took first place on the Oricon Daily Album Chart last Thursday after only 2 days on the Japanese market. Hollywood film Whiplash topped the Korean box office with more than 500,000 tickets sold in total as of last Thursday, 9 days since its release. The movie is about a tense relationship between a driven teacher and a first-year jazz student, and has seen the number of its viewers increase steadily even during the off-season. The film importer said that word-of-mouth advertising has drawn many theater-goers to repeatedly see the film.
This next issue is a sensitive topic that can cause a lot of irritation, discomfort, and even controversy. We're talking about PMS, a monthly hormonal shift that people say can cause stress for many women and their loved ones. Here's a closer look.
Premenstrual syndrome, or PMS, is a monthly inconvenience for women. The symptoms worsen as one approaches her ovulatory phase or menstruation period.
IM기 여성에서 한 3분의 1 정도가 이러한 월경전 증후군으로 고통을 받고 있고 약 5% 정도에서는 일상생활에 차질이 있을 정도로 증상이 심한 경우가 있습니다.
The suspected reason is presumed to be a change in hormonal balance before menstruation kicks in.
그게 크게 그렇게 병이라고 생각하지 않아서 그냥 그때그때 넘기는 것 같아요.
PMS can't be verified through medical tests, so it's diagnosed based on key symptoms. You qualify for PMS if you share any one symptom from each the physical and mental categories. This includes headache, chest pain, rage, or depression. It differs by individual, but in worst cases, the symptoms can be uncontrollable.
어떤 충동 조절이나 또 공격성 제어가 안 되고요. 또 충동이 제어가 안 되는 경우에 이게 병적 도벽이라든가 도박 이런 걸로 이어진다는 점에서
There is no cure yet to treat PMS. Women usually receive a prescription of contraceptives that can help adjust hormones and ovulation. But some women are reluctant about this idea due to the common belief that taking contraceptives for a long time will make pregnancy difficult later on.
피임약의 주 성분은 여성 호르몬제이거든요. 그래서 충분히 복용을 하셔도 된다는 점 알아두셨으면 좋겠고요.
In Oriental medicine, PMS is addressed with a focus on how healthy the womb is.
자궁 내 우열과 체내 노폐물을 제거할 수 있도록 몸의 기운을 보하고 자궁의 순환이 잘 되도록 하는 한약과 침, 뜸, 부항, 약침 치료 등을 병행해서
PMS should not be taken lightly. It's a medical condition and those experiencing it should confirm their symptoms and seek treatment accordingly for both their own sake and for their loved ones.
And now let's take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.